and welcome to my new program. I'm very happy to see you here. What we're dealing with here is the double note shape. This whole program is based upon that idea. So what is the double note shape? Well, it's basically just very simply, you take any pentatonic shape you have, traditional pentatonic shape, and then you add another note of the scale on top of each string. So for instance, if you have your E minor pentatonic, right? You have 2 notes per string, your first position, 12th fret E minor pentatonic shape. Then you can add another scale note on top of each of the top notes of that shape, so you get 3 notes on each string. And some of you might say, wait a minute, that's, then you have 2 of the same note. Yeah, right. Because, if you're going to get the same note on the E string as you have on the B string there, as you cross over. But that's the whole point. These double note shapes gives you more ways of reaching the same note. And that's what creates this magical explosion of ideas that you can get. You can play sequences that you know already, but you can play them much easier and much faster. Sequences like traditional sequences like 4 notes down and return to and so on. And you can play that within a pentatonic framework that is, I've never been able to play it that fast, ever, even close to using 2 note per string scale shapes. Another one. Very, it feels sometimes almost like cheating to do it this way. The tricky thing is that when you're playing in these shapes, you have to get your brain to understand that you're not in a regular shape. So when you're using your regular stuff, right, and you play it in double note shapes, it's going to sound weird because you have 2 notes each time you go from string to string. But what this program also is not just a bunch of sequences, it's actually also a training system for your middle fingers. You have your 1st and your 4th finger here, right? Those 2 are very used to going from string to string. Because, normal sequences and normal fretboard patterns usually go from string to string using one of these fingers there, right? And when you're using double note shapes, that completely disappears. Not completely, because you use that, 50% of the time anyway. You go from string to string like that. Or maybe, whatever, 25. It depends on... Whoa! I just got my delay pedal waking up and repeating what I just played. I just got way off there. But so what happens is that you often go from string to string using either your 3rd finger or your 2nd finger. And the 4th finger here, the 3rd finger has kind of a, it's for most players, it's the weak finger. It's kind of hard to do combinations of 3rd and 4th finger when you're playing sequences, right? So if you have to do a sequence like where these 2 have to work together, it becomes a little bit challenging, and there's a reason for that. That's physical. There's nothing wrong with you. It's because the body is, of course, not created to play guitar. It's created to make little tools and go hunting and stuff like that. But so the muscles in your finger are a bit special in that. Let me just use my right hand instead. So if you take your hand, put it on the table in front of you, if you have a table, you just put it flat down and then raise it just a little bit and push your fingers towards the table, down towards the table, some amount of pressure. Then try to lift your 1st finger. That's pretty manageable. Your index finger there, it's pretty easy. Then try to lift your middle finger. That's also, you can't lift it, that much, but it's easy to release it as you press down with all your fingers. It's easy to release it anyway. Then try your 3rd finger. If you have a pressure towards, which is what we have on the fretboard, we have a pressure in towards the fretboard, right? So if you press and you try to lift the, I can just do it, right? Unless if I'm not having too much pressure on the fretboard here or my tabletop. So I can just lift it a little bit. But if you push hard, there's no way you're going to get it off. And the 4th finger here is pretty easy as well. So the muscles of your 3rd finger is challenged, and especially when your 4th finger is pressed towards the fretboard. because that totally locks it, or not totally, but it makes it more inflexible. We have to, and so that's a weak spot in the hand or in the fingers. And this program, because we are changing strings with the middle fingers, we really get to work with that little weak spot there. And you can't go through this program and practice the sequences without getting very good at alleviating this challenge or overcoming it. So that's a crucial benefit from this program. It's not the core benefit, but it's just an extra benefit you get from, practicing the cool sequences. You could really watch this program as or look at this program as a library of cool sequences, because we have these 8 super sequences, and then I have 3 bonuses for you as well, but in the program. But you can really watch it as a library of sequences that you can draw upon whenever you need some new inspiration, or you're building a solo and you want something new thrown in there, and you can go ahead, listen to the different sequences, choose one, practice it for a week, and then be, going on with whatever you're doing. Or you could focus on it, massively, and really say, okay, I'm going to master these double note sequences, and to a level where I can just play them, these sequences, as easy as anything, making them part of what I truly master. And if you have that kind of focus on this simple idea, it will influence your playing style massively, because the number one influencer of how you play is the tools you have, the licks you've practiced, the sequences you really got under your fingers, the stuff that is really easy. And if you take this program, these sequences, to that level, there'll be no way that we can't hear it in your playing style afterwards. So that's the potential of this program. And because the idea is a wacky one, you get to play something that most other people never heard of or never have been able to play. So that's a little gem, not because you have to be special, but because it's always nice to bring something new to the plate, right, of music. So that's basically it. But let's just run through the program very quickly. And if you really just want to see me do the sequence and learn how to do the sequence I just played in the beginning of the video, just jump to the next video down below me. But let's just have a quick overview of the program. What are we going to do? Well, first of all, we're going to look at the scale shapes, the double note scale shapes. And we're going to lay them out for the minor pentatonic. And that's our focus here, the minor pentatonic, right? And across the board. And we're going to look at how do you learn these shapes fast, rapidly. And I'm going to show you some simple rules that you can do or create that will absolutely visually and mentally just plot these shapes out for you if you already know the basic pentatonic shapes, right? So you're not going to learn a whole ton of new shapes here because you already know them by combining 2 shapes. And then we're going to lay out the diminished arpeggio as well. So we can do cool stuff. We can take the sequences we know and then just convert them into diminished arpeggio runs, which is really cool. Sorry. Stuff like that. And you can do the same thing. Sorry. And you can do the same thing with the blues scale as well, which we're also going to lay out as double note shapes, just to expand this, just to make sure that what you're practicing gives you the most bang for your buck, so you can use it in as many contexts as possible. Then, after we've looked at the shapes, we're going to simply go through all the 8 sequences. And what we're going to do there is I'm going to show you the smallest element, the one instance of the sequence in a circular exercise, so you can practice it in one place on the neck, so you can use it for TV practice. So we have a 1-string or 2-string little circular exercise that will teach you the sequence. And then I've laid out 6 string runs for you, so you can take it across all 6 strings. And after that, with each of these sequences, I'm going to give you a lick / run / phrase, and an actual piece that involves the sequence, and then an ending, some other details, so you can see it in a context. So you have 8 of these runs / licks, right? And 8 sequences. Then after that, we're going to look at how do you actually convert these sequences into diminished arpeggios and blues scale runs instead. And I have, again, specific ways in which you can do that. And how you convert, because there are extra little bits of challenges there that we have to be aware of. And I have some small rules for you that will make it really easy to convert any pentatonic sequence into a blues scale sequence or a diminished sequence that you can use within the blues scale realm or the harmonic minor realm. And then afterwards we have another section that focuses on what do you do with all these sequences? How do you put this into action and make sure that this investment you made of time and money into a program actually yields results, real results. And what is the result? Well, it's an improvement in your skills. And it's an improvement that's worth the time you put in, right? Very important. So we're going to create we have a little workshop, and you're going to go through that with me and create a 30-day plan that fits your life perfectly. And it doesn't involve you, resigning from your job and, anything like that. It's very small things we're talking about, but it's the things that work. It's the things that will take you to that point where you go, hey, that was amazing. 30 days with the Pentatonic Violation program, and then you get actual real results that you can measure. And I have a fun way of measuring it where you can really feel it in your body and see the progress you've made after those 30 days. Then that's about it. Then all we have left is the 3 bonus sequences, where one of them is really wacky and sounds like, a lot of arpeggios simultaneously, and the other ones are, fast stuff that is really effective when you want to do the shredding thing. And of course, many of the 8 sequences that are already in the program are also very fast, and some are into the melodic area where we have some slower sequences, but they are really great for building licks, for building these cool pentatonic / blues scale licks. That's all of it. I hope that sounds interesting to you, at the least. If not, go down and look at, or just anyway, look at the videos below me here, look at the images, look at the text, whatever you need. And if that's not enough for you to make a decision, please write me an email at info@klauslevin.com, right? Or the Wizard of Shred, whatever email you used to using if you've done it before. So just shoot me an email so you have everything you need to make the right decision for you. I look forward to seeing you on the other side, and if I don't, I'll just see you in another video. Bye.